My wife and I just finished building a brand new home. Along the way, we learned a lot of things about purchasing land. Okay, so this looks like what we might want.
Hi, I'm Anita,
I'm Tim, and
the wise old farts.
I'm the wise one, she's the old fart.
Whatever.
So choosing a place to build a home involves weighing several key factors to ensure the location meets your needs, your budget, and your long-term goals. Buying land to build a home is not for the faint of heart. Here's a breakdown of the main considerations that you should have. Land characteristics. What kind of land are you looking for? Homesteading, vacation home, farming? Do you want trees or open land? If you employ a real estate agent, make sure they have your interest and values in the forefront, not just someone trying to make a sale. Find that one that will give you the negatives of the land, not just the positives. Look over many properties before even considering to place an offer. Visit the site at the one that you really like at different times to assess the noise, the traffic, and the sunlight. Consult a local real estate agent or builder for insights on hidden costs or any restrictions on the land. You can use some online tools like Google Earth for aerial views or X to gauge community sentiment about the area. Number 2, topography and soil. Flat, stable land is easier and cheaper to build on. Sloped or rocky terrain may increase your excavation and foundation cost by 10 to 20%. Get a geotechnical survey to assess soil stability and drainage. If there is solid rock, you may have to call in some demolition teams. Number 3, natural hazards. Evaluate the risk of flooding, earthquakes, or wildfires. For instance, FEMA flood maps or USGS earthquake data can help assess risk. Avoid floodplains unless you're prepared for elevated construction costs and insurance. Number 4, utilities access. Confirm availability of water, electricity, gas, and sewage systems. Rural lots may require wells or septic systems costing $5,000 to $50,000 more depending on location. Confirm you have good internet access and good mobile phone connections with a nearby tower. You probably don't want to build a house and find you don't have phone access. We do have some friends that moved into a house and they have to go outside to use their phones. That's not acceptable. Location and accessibility. Building within city limits is usually more expensive and more regulations than building in a county, and usually more taxes. We'll get to that later. Number 6, proximity to essentials. If you have access to water, electric, and cable, you'll want to connect them. But how far are they and how much will it cost? If they're hundreds of feet down a road, that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars or more. Consider the distance to work, schools, hospitals, grocery stores, emergency services, and other amenities. For example, being within 10 to 20 miles of urban centers can balance convenience and tranquility. What amenities does the area offer for children? Baseball fields, basketball courts, parks, etc. Number 7, transportation. Check access to roads, highways, public transit, or airports. Rural areas might offer peace, but could mean longer commutes, say 30 plus minutes to city centers. Living in the county may mean dirt or gravel roads, and the counties don't always maintain them as good as they do the paved roads. You don't want to be a year or so later going down a dirt road that has 100 potholes in it that they don't maintain. Number 8, don't forget to check access to your property. You don't want to share a driveway if you don't have to, or cross over right-of-ways. Don't buy land that is landlocked with a right-of-way to the property if you don't have to. Now, this can create neighbor hassles if you do something they don't like on down the road. Future development. Research planned infrastructure or commercial projects nearby, as these can affect property value and quality of life. Check local government zoning plans or news on platforms like X for community insights. You don't want to buy a lot with a few acres and then find out a year or so later that there's no zoning and you're going to have a big industrial complex right next to you. or a big shopping center. Number 9, zoning and regulations. Does your city or county allow you to pull a permit without a licensed contractor? Some don't. There are still some areas where you don't even have to pull a permit, but these will probably be very, very rural. Number 10, building codes. Local regulations may dictate home size and height. Check with the municipal planning department for restrictions. Now, some places require a stamp of approval from an architect if you design your own home and/or blueprints, and some require the stamp for any changes you make if you purchase blueprints. Number 11, permits and fees. Factor in costs for permits, which can range from $1,000 to $10,000, depending on the area and project scope. You have building permits, driveway permits, electric permit, gas, water, well or sewer permits, even septic permits. Septic permits can take weeks to months to test and get results. Be sure to check on how long that will take. Our 2 biggest permits were the construction permit, which was about $800, and our water tap fee permit was $2,400. Number 12, HOA rules. If the land is in a planned community, review the Homeowners Association rules for restrictions on design or landscaping. Many tell you a minimum house size, what colors their house can be, what style it can be, where a garage has to face, what you have to have for landscaping, etc., and a lot more. Make sure to read the rules and restrictions carefully. And the other thing is, what are the annual or monthly HOA fees? Now, as a note, we sold our home when we decided to build a new home and purchased a 28-foot trailer to live in while we built our new home. After purchasing the land and getting our permits, we found the HOA that we selected didn't allow us to live on any HOA land in a trailer, even temporarily. And we'll have more on that later. 13, taxes can be a big consideration when you build, as some counties and cities charge high taxes, and some in a little more rural setting, maybe a lot less. Number 14, what are the real estate taxes going to be every year? When you can look up the taxes on nearby homes and similar in style or size to the homes you want to build, you can get a good idea of what your taxes will be. Number 15, something no one ever thinks about. Motor vehicle taxes and registration fees. These are usually by county in most states. RV and trailer taxes and registrations. Number 16, budget the cost of your land. Prices vary widely. Urban lots might cost $100,000, while the rural ones can be maybe $10,000 to $50,000 per acre. Compare local real estate listings on platforms like Zillow. Here you may consider spending a little more on the land where values are rising, as this will increase your resale value if you ever want to sell, versus land where there is little or no need or want. 17, development cost. Include expenses for clearing land, $1,500 to $5,000 per acre, grading and utility hookups. Steep or wooded lots can double these costs. A common rule of thumb in home building is to allocate 20 to 30% of your budget to land, with the remaining 70-80% covering construction, permits, utilities, and contingencies. For a $350,000 budget, this suggests $70,000 to $105,000 for land as a starting point. 18, construction costs typically range from $100 to $200 per square foot for a standard single-family home, 1,500 to 2,500 square feet, equating to $150,000 to $500,000. In your case, to stay within budget, you may want to likely aim for a smaller or more cost-efficient home, like 1,000 to 1,500 square foot at $100 to $150 a square foot, leaving room for land and other expenses. And number 19, environment and lifestyle. Consider weather patterns, heavy snowfall or extreme heat, and their impact on construction materials and energy costs. Surroundings. Decide if you prefer urban, suburban, or rural settings. Rural areas offer privacy but may lack services, while urban areas provide convenience but less space. Views and aesthetics. Scenic views like mountains and water can enhance the value but may come with a higher cost or restrictions. 20. Resale potential. Research whether property values in the area are rising. Areas with growing populations or job markets, like tech hubs, tend to appreciate a lot faster. Neighborhood quality. Have kids? Check out the schools. You do not want your kids going to a very low-rated school. Then check out the crime rates. You can check those statistics on Neighborhood Scout or local X-Post for resident feedback. Number 21, sustainability and future needs. Ensure the lot size accommodates future additions like a garage or extra rooms if your family might grow. Aging in place. If planning for the long term, prioritize single-story designs or accessible locations for older age. You don't want to have a lot of stairs. 22, contractors. If you're hiring a contractor to build your house, be sure to get several estimates. You'll be surprised at the difference in prices. If you're building the house yourself or acting as the contractor, check and see if there are any restrictions on that. In South Carolina, which I didn't know until we pulled our building permit, if you act as the contractor, you cannot sell your house for 2 years after getting your certificate of occupancy. Now, this is probably just a benefit law for contractors, but it's there. 23, financing. Shop around for rates. I know you probably know that. But small differences can mean a lot of interest over the long run. Don't forget to include the monthly payment that you're going to be making on your construction loan into the overall budget. If you have a home with equity and plan to stay in it for a while you build, consider a HELOC loan instead of a construction loan. That can save you a lot of dollars. With a construction loan, you don't need to get all the money up front. They give it in installments as you progress and they inspect. Ask what those installments are and how fast you get the money. And finally, 24, add 10 to 15% onto your cost estimates for unexpected costs, as there will be many. We thank you for listening and watching. We hope to see you in our next video where we're going to be building our house. Thank you and have a great day.